Hey friends, Deb here. Here today to talk to you about shoes and chiropractors. I know, you're like, what does that have to do with business coaching? Hear me out. So, I was visiting my chiropractor last night and I've known him for 32 years, I think. And he's watched me grow up, he's watched me get married, become a mother, become a grandmother. Yep, I just said that. And one of the things I really admire about him is how he's run his business based on relationships. But that's not what I want to talk about today. So I want to tell you a story. Several years ago when I first started going to him, I had actually had an injury. I'd fallen off a stage. Well, actually got dropped off a stage. It was in my dancing days and my partner actually dropped me. I fell off the stage, hit my head on something, got up and said, I'm fine. And turns out I wasn't. It was a few months later actually that I woke up one morning with like this crick in my neck, and when my chiropractor did x-rays, my neck was like curved. And that's the only thing we can put it down to is probably that fall. Anyway, so I went to him, he gave me relief. I was to the point where I hardly ever have to have my neck adjusted now. But at the time, or a few years later, when my dad had a shoulder or neck issue, and I said, go to my chiropractor, he's awesome. And he's like, no, I don't want to start going to a chiropractor because once you start going to a chiropractor, you can never stop. And I thought, well, that's interesting. So I actually shared that with my chiropractor, whose name is Dr. Wayne Longstaff. I call him Dr. Wayne. And I shared that with him, and he gave an amazing response that was, I think, a really great analogy. And he said, well, that's like saying, I'm not going to start wearing shoes because once I start wearing shoes, I can never stop. And I was remembering this yesterday specifically because my husband now has an issue with his shoulder, and I'm like, go see my chiropractor, and he won't. And I got to thinking, well, how many of us do that in our lives? And how am I even doing that? Where I'm afraid to put shoes on, the metaphoric shoes, where I start doing something, I'm afraid if I start doing it, I won't be able to stop. And here's the thing with chiropractic, by the way, is that yeah, maybe you don't stop doing chiropractic, but it's a maintenance thing. So it's like saying, well, I'm only going to put oil in my car once, because if I start putting oil in my car, I'm going to have to keep doing it. And I treat chiropractic the same way. It's just maintenance. I rarely go, probably, if I'm a little bit clumsy, so sometimes I fall and hurt myself, I'll have to go get fixed. But generally it's just a maintenance tune-up kind of thing, or some sports-related overexertion on my part. But generally, it's just tune-ups. And so it got me thinking, where are we doing that? Where am I doing that? And I want you to consider, where are you doing that in your business or your life, where you're like, I am not going to do that because once I start doing that, I'm going to have to keep doing it. That's the equivalent of putting shoes on. So maybe I am avoiding, and I have been until recently, avoiding outsourcing some things. And outsourcing some of your administrative tasks might feel like, oh gosh, if I start doing this, I'm gonna have to keep doing it. Awesome, right? Why would we want to continue walking without shoes on when the shoes are right there and available to us? And so it's kind of like my chiropractor said, don't avoid doing something because it means you're going to have to keep doing it if it's good for you. So whether you're been putting off hiring a VA or actually hiring a full-time assistant, whatever that is for you, I want you to consider, what is the cost to you of going through your business without that pair of shoes? Without putting the shoes on of a VA or whatever other system that will support you, that will eliminate the discomfort that you might be experiencing in your business right now. So that's what chiropractic and shoes has to do with business. So if you want some help figuring out where you could be putting some shoes on, or possibly even taking some shoes off, reach out. I'm happy to have that conversation with you. Remember, this is the only today you get. Make it stellar. Bye for now.